Welcome all gamers to the Grind Game Podcast, a deep dive into the gaming experience. You're listening to Dean and Anthony.
Right, so we're talking about the latest Xbox reveal. What was it called officially?
Games Showcase.
Xbox Games Showcase.
Yeah, and they were kind of just pumping them out, like one after another with very little in between, and I really liked it.
Oh yeah, I know this is like all over the news now. I've read some of the gaming news today. Apparently, a lot of people really disliked it.
What? Why?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I don't really watch those types of reveals. I usually just get my gaming info later on. Somebody, hey, did you hear about the new game that's coming out? And I'm like, oh no. They're like, yeah, they announced it like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, okay, and that's how I get my news usually. But or unless it's something that's super groundbreaking, and everybody's talking about it right after the video. Anyway, I usually don't watch those. But you said that you kind of wanted that to be part of our topic. So I was like, you know what? Let me take an hour and go and just watch it. And I did. And I liked it, because of the games and it showcases the games. And I don't really have a problem with it. I wasn't like pumped, like watching it, but I didn't like hate it. So I don't know. Maybe everybody's a critic, right? I guess.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. There's nothing that really really kind of blew my mind. Well, I take that back. There is one thing that blew my mind because I had no idea it was going to come out, but we'll touch on that later. But most of it was like, okay, these games were either leaked right beforehand or were already announced in a teaser at like the Gaming Awards or something like that.
Oh, right.
I'm trying to remember like the game. I'm trying to write down all the games that really stood out to me.
So I'm gonna, since you haven't really said anything yet about it, I want to try to guess what game would be like on the top of your list. I was thinking that whenever I was watching the video.
Okay.
I was like, ooh, you know what?
Really?
I was like, yeah, because I was only watching it because you wanted to go over it. So I was like, okay. And I saw a few games. I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be for Dean. Yeah, that one's for Dean.
Why am I that predictable?
Yes. No, I don't. Maybe we'll see. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see if you're predictable.
Yes. And you probably will even mention one that I even forgot about because there are just so many games pumping out. But
right, yeah.
Yeah, I guess go for it. What do you think the first one is?
It was Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis.
Oh, well, you nailed it. I had no idea that was coming out, and because I've been playing Phantasy Star Online 2 off the Microsoft Store, and I just figured, it finally came to the West. They're pumping out the chapters that are already released in Japan over the last 8 years, and we're getting them in the West like a month after month after month, and we'll be caught up by 2021 basically. And then they announced this, and I'm like freaking out because it looks similar but very different at the same time. It looks updated, it looks faster, it looks bigger. And so I saw that and I was like, what is this new Phantasy Star?
When it first started playing, just the way it looked, I was like, Xenoblade?
Yeah, I guess you could kind of see that. It didn't look as the anime art is a little bit different. It's very, I guess, Phantasy Star in comparison to like pure anime looking.
Yeah, I mean the environment when it popped up and showed the landscape, I was like, Xenoblade? And then,
Oh.
of
Oh,
course,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, well, this isn't Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, when it started with Sega, I'm like, okay, cool. Sega's gonna do, like, maybe they're finally announcing the new Sonic or something like that because they
Sonic that looks like that, yeah.
but when I saw Fantasy Star stuff, I was like, oh, it's probably just updated chapters that are coming out. And nope, brand new title.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So was that up there or was that like number one?
That was literally the first one I wrote down.
Nice.
It's because my friend and I, um we were huge Fantasy Star Online players. That's how we actually became friends, was through Fantasy Star Online. Like, no one else in my city that I knew ever played it on the Dreamcast, and so that's where we kind of built our friendship off of that. And it's a lot bigger now, but um, Fantasy Star Online 2 came out, and we've been playing that. And so I showed this to him like immediately, and he totally looked into it, blew his mind. So he found out some more information that I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's updating like literally everything from Fantasy Star Online to the OG version, but it's still a new version. Your character can exist in both worlds, but it'll go back to level 1 in this new Genesis, and some items come over, but the levels don't come over, so you actually have to start over at level 1 again.
Hmm.
I'm not exactly sure how it's all gonna work, but that is what I've been informed, and I'm totally okay with it.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't know much about the Fantasy Star Online universe. Played a little bit of one on the GameCube with my buddies back in like high school. But that was it.
Yeah, it's what you played in high school, but much faster paced.
Very good. Um, so do you remember seeing The Medium?
I do. Do you remember The Medium?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. I remember thinking it looked really interesting. Like just kind of like excited to see more. Maybe was all I was going to say about that one. That one piqued my interest a little bit, and that and Avowed.
I knew you were gonna say Avowed.
Yeah, so I like those two. I mean, we saw more of the Medium than I guess we did Avowed, but I want to see more of those because those I feel like those will excite me later on. Right now, it's kind of just not. I don't know.
Yeah, Avowed is just pretty much all we know about that is it's a first person fantasy swords and sorcery type game. But it's from Obsidian,
Yeah,
and Obsidian definitely knows how to make RPGs. Now they have that Microsoft money.
yeah, they made sure to cover that in the
Yeah, they
showcase.
did.
That was kind of all they were hanging on. They were like, it's gonna be fantasy, but it's by Obsidian. You can't hate it, okay?
That is
So
that is 100% I hear it. Yeah. I mean, I can't I'm trying to think of an Obsidian game that did well enough that was kind of maybe not that great. I guess Alpha Protocol was a Sega Obsidian title that didn't do too well, even though it was actually pretty good. It had some game flaws in it, but the story was good, and Obsidian always makes a good story. So, and did you see the two other Obsidian announcements?
the Outer Worlds
The
thing,
Outer Worlds, Peril of Gorgon, Peril on Gorgon, which I am interested in. I haven't been able to play the base game for Outer Worlds because it isn't released yet in a way that I would like to acquire it. So
right?
I'll have to wait for it. And then Grounded, which had a really amusing trailer. If you saw that one,
Yeah, that one was actually in my out of the games in this showcase, one of my top three there.
because you enjoy the survival type games a lot, right?
Yeah, actually, I kind of do. Yeah,
And I usually don't, but I liked Conan Exiles, and Grounded does look very appealing to me.
yeah, it's similar. I mean, you have Conan Exiles, you're a barbarian, ruthless barbarian, and in Grounded, you're little kids
Yeah,
that are fighting spiders.
in like your suburban backyard.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost the same game. I can't believe they ripped them off.
Plagiarism.
So the thing I liked about Grounded was that it really pulled on my like nostalgia for like Honey I Shrunk the Kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching that movie as a kid and being like, that would be so much fun. I want to be super tiny. So that's another reason that I used to really, really like the Army Men games.
Oh yeah, like Sarge's Heroes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You're a little toy playing like in
Yes.
a bedroom or something like that.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. Did you have a Dreamcast?
Negative.
I wonder how many times I've actually asked you that, and you've always told me the same answer, and I never
Yeah,
remember
a while ago you asked me, you were like, you have a PlayStation 4, right? And I was like, yes.
it.
For the
Yeah.
100th time. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh,
No, yeah, it is kind of hard to keep up with what we have. Yeah.
but yeah, games like that. There was one called Toy Commander on the Dreamcast, and you play as like little, what are they, like the Micro Machine type cars and airplanes and stuff, and you're shooting like pencil
Oh,
lead
yeah.
out of like these toy. Yeah, and you were like flying around the house and driving around the house and stuff, but everything was super
Yeah.
tiny. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that's why Grounded looks so appealing to me. Probably gonna check that one out for
Say,
sure.
and it's coming out like by the time this podcast comes out, I think it comes out the next day. I think it comes out
What?
Tuesday, when we're coming out Monday.
Well, good thing we have that discount code from our sponsor to give everybody then.
Yeah, just
That's a joke.
just type in "We are totally lying" into your code box.
The code is Big Ants.
Big ants.
Yeah. BIGANTS. Yeah.
How how are we gonna fight all those ants when we're tiny little children?
With like toothpicks and stuff, probably.
But there's so many ants.
Actually, the toothpicks would probably be really, really big,
They
right?
probably would be.
I don't know exactly how small they are. I'll have to go look at the picture or the showcase again, the video to see exactly how small they are. I don't know what their weaponry is, like tacks,
Yeah, I don't know.
like granules of sand. I don't know how small they are.
Stab someone with sand.
No, I meant like rocks. Like you would use a granule of sand as like what somebody would use like a rock for, like throwing it because you'd be so small.
We'll have to find out Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm probably not going to get a day one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. Is it?
That's a day one.
Is it? I don't think it's free to play. It's probably a purchase.
Yeah, probably. Um, so let's move on to another title that I thought was mildly interesting.
All right, hit me.
It's like something X.
Crossfire X.
Yes, Crossfire X.
That looked very pretty, like absurdly beautiful.
When I was watching it, it gave me the feeling that I was watching a trailer for like some really weird mix between a new Call of Duty and a Crisis game.
Yeah, it did have that kind of vibe. It's a legendary PC franchise comes to console in a fast-paced first-person shooter, offering a variety of exhilarating multiplayer experiences and a cinematic campaign. I'd probably try out. I just like pushing my PC.
Did it have like some sort of time travel element in it?
I'm trying to think now because there seems to be so many games that use some sort of time travel.
Yeah, because they always get huge points from me when there's some little bit of time travel. I'm like, ooh, I want to see how they implement it.
Just like your blog.
Yeah, just like go read the blog. We should put like a little voice line in there that says go read the
Go
blog.
read the blog.
Well, at any rate, so those were some of the ones that were like on my. That wasn't even the one. There was one game out of all of them that I thought, ooh, I want to know more about that, and I want to play that, whatever that ends up being.
Okay.
You want to take a guess?
I'm going to guess. Ooh, there's some good ones. Uh, I'm going to guess Everwild.
That's it. Bingo.
That that game is. I think it was announced back in the Game Awards, or it was announced previously anyway. But that trailer was just mind blowing.
That was the first time I saw it. Was yesterday in that game showcase, and I was like, "Wow, this is definitely just something that I like." The visuals and however the gameplay is going to be, I probably like it also just based on the visuals.
I'm
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say that. So now I also feel incredibly predictable because you got it in the first try, just like I got yours.
Well, it's hard not to be drawn to it because in a world of of hard fantasy and military guns and space stuff, you have a game here that has a very spiritual, mystical side that really delves into that over showing us what kind of conflict is going on. It's more of a trailer of exploration in this very mystical world.
Yeah, the thing I thought of when I saw it was Druid,
Yeah.
and that was the first thing that came to my mind, and I was like, "Oh, I love this."
Not gonna lie, I teared up.
Yeah, it was pretty good. They saved that little baby deer thing, whatever that was. I
Yeah.
don't know. Or did they save it? I don't know. Maybe it was just like I don't know. We'll find out when the game comes out, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, that one is one of the top ones. We'll definitely be playing that.
Did you also get like an Avatar vibe from
Uh
it, or was that me? This can
no,
be off the record if you didn't.
if you don't agree with me, just we won't show it publicly. I
Cut it
did.
out.
I did 'cause there were some movements when they were like seemingly trying to communicate with the animals that there were very avatar like
Yeah.
movements. I mean, like, are you thinking Last
You know
Airbender
what?
or
I I was, and then I was like, you know what? I never specified, but there's also an Avatar Blue Kitty
yeah, it
feel
had that nature around it,
there also.
but it's the avatars combined.
Wow, you're right. Yeah, weird.
I I wonder how that one's gonna play. I'm always wondering because a lot of games are mixing in. If they're not a straight RPG, they kind of mix in little RPG elements. So I'm always curious. Is like, hey, here's a new
Right,
first-person shooter. Cool. What kind of RPG elements are going to be in it?
right. You know what? Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. If Everwild ends up being like some sort of RTS or something, I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed because that's not my all-time favorite genre, but I'll still play it anyway because I guess I imagine it being just some little adventure game maybe or something, or yeah, maybe even some sort of RPG. I don't know. It could be, I
They
guess. I
say
don't know.
it's. I believe the developer said it's an exploration type game. So whatever comes of that.
Oh, okay. They're like you can explore this game in the RTS format.
That would honestly be the worst way to explore a world in depth is from an RTS view.
Or it's not even a like single player or multiplayer campaign game. It's strictly multiplayer for some reason. It's just competitive.
It's a battle royale.
Everwild the battle royale. Yeah, that would be a lot less exciting. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's not. I mean, what you said made it sound like it wasn't what the developer said.
Speaking of shooters, which we were like quite a bit ago, I
Yeah, we
guess.
already talked about Crossfire X. I'm just kidding.
um, I know I was gonna say speaking of RPGs, but I was like, I want to get these other shooters out of the way first. Um, Warhammer. Are you into Warhammer at all?
No, not really, but it looks really cool. I don't know that much about Warhammer, so
I find the Warhammer franchise very fascinating. My cousin is really big into 40K, and I've enjoyed a few of the RPG type Warhammer games. But Warhammer 40K, Dark Tide is a four-player co-op game set in Hive Tertium. I'm going to mess that up.
Oh,
Yeah,
prepare to get
I
roasted.
know. I saw that word and I'm like, well, there I go.
R.I.P. Dean.
Yeah, cancel Dean here. But it's just a 4-player co-op, probably very similar, maybe to Vermintide. But it looks like it has a comedic. The trailer was subtly comedic, so I don't know how they're playing on that.
Oh yeah,
Besides that, there was State of Decay 3,
yeah,
which
that one looked really good. Yeah, or from
yeah,
what
where
we saw.
she's hunting the quote unquote wolf. I think that was State of Decay 3, right? I think so.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I'm leaving all of those in there.
yeah. No,
I won't. I'll
no, you
take out a
can't. I
few
don't
of
care.
those. Because State of Decay 2 looks very interesting, but I don't think it had reached like a full potential, so I never jumped into it. I guess you could play different characters in this setting and try to build up a community, but you could change the characters or something like that.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from State of Decay was starting to play the first one, and I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty good. I really like it." And then really, really, really wanting it to be co-op, and it wasn't.
State of Decay was not co-op.
The first one wasn't, if I remember right. If that's the
Oh,
same game I'm thinking of.
but the second one is co-op. I'm assuming the third one's going to be co-op because why
Yeah, I
not?
hope so.
Then we have Stalker 2, the award-winning PC franchise loved by millions of players, is making a true next-gen console debut on the Xbox Series X. It's a unique blend of first-person shooter, immersive sim, and horror, hopefully with RPG elements.
Yeah, I was emotionless watching that one. Next. No, I'm just kidding.
I
No, when it was going, I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then it was like Stalker 2, and I was like, "Well, okay, sure, if you
yeah.
say so." I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Sorry.
Yeah, I I've always been kind of sort of fascinated with the Stalker uh game, I guess. I guess
Did you
not
say
say
that you stalk the Stalker game?
I do, but I never really invest any true research into it.
Me neither.
But maybe when we learn more, we'll be hooked on it. See if it hooks us with whatever the showcase they have for it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Destiny 2. You're a Destiny
Next.
guy? Whoa, whoa.
Yeah. No. Uh, yeah. I mean, I know we've talked about Destiny on here before, and once upon a time that filled. Once upon a time that was a part of my gaming heart, and then a big chunk of it got blown away. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The Destiny used to be a lot better to me than it is now, I guess. So I've moved on to other things, but it looks really cool.
That's fair. Will you be playing the next chapter just to play it, or have you completely moved on?
I've missed quite a bit of stuff in recent months, and I don't know if I'm ready to spend some money on the next chapter. So, I mean, I know a lot about the Destiny lore and stuff like that because I read a ton about it. So I might just watch some videos on YouTube, kind of going over what's going on. Maybe I don't really feel the need to play it.
Yeah, okay. Is that pretty much it for shooters? Are we done with shooters now? Oh no, we have the big one.
Well,
We have
you
the
could.
big one.
Uh, I was I was gonna say you could talk about that one, whatever it was, Halo something.
Yeah, I know it's some new game.
Yeah, whatever.
Halo Infinite. It's I've actually been playing through the Halo games with one of my best friends, my roommate, because she only played partway through Halo 2. And so I was like, well, you were probably extremely confused about what was going on. So we went through Halo 1 one week. The next week we did Halo 2. And just last night, as we were recording this last night, we completed Halo 3. And she's just like, wants more. So
Well, good thing there are a lot more
yeah, good
after
thing.
three.
Got Reach, ODST, Halo 4, Halo 5, which isn't scheduled to come to PC, at least within the Master Chief Collection. I'm not sure why.
Oh, yeah, you're playing it on PC, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
But honestly, visually, it doesn't look that new to me. With their slipstream engine, it is not flashy. It's kind of, it seems like an industry AAA standard. You know, it's running 60 frames, which is great, but it isn't flashy enough to really catch your attention like a Crossfire X did.
Yeah. So whenever I saw Halo pop up, I was like, oh, good, good old Halo. And it started showing some of the gameplay. And I was like, man, this, I mean, I think it's also the setting wherever he's at in that little demo reminds me just a lot of like very early Halo, like Halo 1 and 2. And I thought that. And then afterwards, whenever I was looking on the news at some other stuff, a lot of people were talking about that was kind of their goal, apparently, was
Yeah,
to,
it seemed like they were like, let's soft reboot Halo or something like that.
yeah, because Master Chief's armor even looks very early Halo. You know how they kind of always tweak the armor and make it look, a little bit cooler, Doom. And, so they go through all these variations. But it looks like they kind of went a little bit more simplistic and kind of back to the way, he used
Yeah.
to look. I don't know. I'm not super knowledgeable when it comes to Halo, so I'm just talking. I'm
You're
just
you're
talking.
cr- you're right. I didn't even catch that because I was too focused on trying to decipher where the hell story-wise Halo Infinite takes place. Because Halo 5 ended on a pretty big deal. And
I have
then
not played it,
it's
so don't
it's
tell me.
I'm not going to tell you, no way. But some stuff happened in that game, and then it hasn't even been mentioned. But 343 and even Bungie were really good at taking away your focus. So
Oh,
the way they advertised Halo, especially the first Halo and Halo 5, was in a certain way that it allowed to hide some of the major story elements by taking advertisement like focus on something that is still part of the story, but it allowed to detract from some pretty cool stuff.
yeah, and you know what? You're right. And moving, I was what you said sounded super cool, and what I was about to say was going to sound really dumb. So I don't know how to. I'm just going to switch gears here. I'm going to throw this thing in reverse. I'm
Okay.
going to grind some gears. So it also looks like we're in the era of grappling hooks.
I was literally just thinking that. Everyone has a grappling hook.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Whatever. Hey, you get a grappling hook. You get a grappling hook. Everybody gets a grappling hook
It's
now.
it's crazy because Doom Guy has a grappling hook on his super shotgun now, which is
Yeah,
freaking awesome. Master Chief has a
and then
grappling hook.
there's that Apex Legends guy with a grappling. I haven't played Apex. I don't know.
I I, I,
He,
I haven't either.
I've seen a little bit. He's got a little grappling hook.
Shadow
Uh,
Warriors, the new Shadow Warriors 3, under the Devolver Digital, they gave him a
the
grappling
Sekiro
hook.
game.
Oh
Is it
yeah,
Sekiro or what is it?
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, he has like a little grappling hook thing.
Yeah, grappling hooks are cool, I guess. It's that it's like, how do we make real people fly? We'll just give them grappling hooks. Still
Yeah,
grounded in
exactly. Yeah.
reality, but now they have grappling hooks.
And then you got Link over here with his hook shot. He's like, man, dude, I've had this thing for who knows how long, guys. Catch up.
Yeah, get on my level.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to the claw shot, my favorite.
The claw shot. That sounds even cooler.
It is cool. Well, okay. I don't know. I was gonna say long shot, but that's just like a longer version of the hook shot, and that always feels really good to get. But claw shot probably better.
Which one is that from? Is that a stupid
Um,
question? Like,
no, hang
your
on. No,
silence was just like, did I say
no,
something
no, no,
dumb?
no. When you said that, I was like, I'm gonna look it up after I say this. But Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess. That one seemed pretty cool. Twilight Princess came out around the time I was working at Game Crazy.
It's one of my favorite Zelda game. Anyway, Yeah, I think we kind of went over a lot. Or was there any of these other games that you wanted to mention?
Yes, actually. I don't remember seeing it in the game showcase for some reason, but I did watch the announcement. Did you see the teaser for Fable?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
What
Right there at the end.
what do you think? I mean, it was just a teaser, but did you play
Yeah.
a lot of Halo or Halo? Did you play a lot of Fable? 1, 2, 3. I think
Um,
that's all of them.
no, not really. Two more than I only played a little bit of one and then some of two. I don't really have much to say about Fable other than I know a lot of people like it, but I do have something to say about the way it was presented. And maybe this is why nobody enjoyed the game showcase. Maybe they're basing it all off of this one thing, but
Okay.
during the game showcase, it goes through all the games, and the guy, I don't know his name, is standing there, and he's like, "Well, you've seen all these games and a bunch of world premieres, and like basically like thanks for watching." And then he's like, "Oh, but wait, there's more." Or he's like, "But here's one last thing," and then it shows Fable, and I think I've heard of like Nintendo doing things like that where they end it and then it kind of goes to the credits. There's not really credits, but kind of goes to that, and then kind of like after credit surprise. The big one I'm thinking of is whenever they added Inkling to Smash Bros. Uh,
Okay.
I think there was some. I didn't watch again. I don't really watch these, but there's some Nintendo Direct where they went through all this stuff and they're like, okay, cool, thanks for watching. And then it ends and then it shows like the Inklings like spraying each other with ink or whatever. They're running around shooting at each other.
Yeah.
And then the Smash Bros thing happens and everybody's like, whoa, and everybody like loses it. And I feel like they were maybe trying to go and I think they were trying to do something like that and it didn't work. I don't know.
It sucks when it sucks when the game was basically already rumored and kind of leaked before the announcement, so it kind of loses that impact. The major thing I remember is another. I believe it was Xbox as well. They did it maybe a few years ago. Is they finished like their E3 performance and they're about to head out. I think it was at the end of the performance. They're about to head out and then the lights went out and like the big TV was or projector whatever it was hacked and it was like a Cyberpunk 2077 announcement that the game was coming out and I thought that was really cool. I like that kind of stuff to be like,
Oh,
oh yeah, we got one more, but I guess if it's a
yeah.
game that is kind of a dud or you already know that's coming, then it really loses that impact.
Okay, right. So from my perspective, I didn't know that it had been rumored or anything like that. So, and I know that they've done these kind of after show, oh, one more, and then get everybody hyped. And since you just told me that story, it kind of looks like now everybody is expecting that from all of these showcases. So they now it seems like they were like, well, we got to throw something in at the end. Everybody's going to want that. And so they were like, okay, whatever, we'll just do it like this. And then it came out
Yeah,
kind of awkward.
I'm really surprised they started with Halo, and then I would think that would be their end, right? But I guess everyone's expecting it to come because they even announced it. But Fable just has a little bit of teaser. I don't know how many people are actually looking forward to Fable. I wasn't big on 2 or 3, but this Fable's being made by this a different studio, so I don't know what direction they're going to take it. So it's just kind of like, hey, we exist,
Interesting.
and I guess we'll find out more in the coming months.
What did you think about Tetris?
Uh, I was very curious of what the heck was going on for the announcement until they started coming down like Tetris pieces, and I was like, okay, it's Tetris. I've never been a big Tetris guy, so I didn't really care too much. But do you play Tetris?
No, I'm
Same.
terrible at that game. The reason I brought it up was because when I was reading some of the news about uh, just some of the reactions, a lot of them mentioned the Tetris, and people were like mad about it, and I mean, there are people that like their games, right? And so it's interesting how we watch these and we're expecting every single premiere or whatever to be like this AAA, like knock you out of your seat. Like you're just the whole time you're watching it, you're just wanting to keep getting knocked out of your seat and get back up and then get knocked out again, I guess. So people want to watch it because I guess Tetris didn't knock their socks off, so I don't know.
I mean, you gotta have those downtime games. Like that's what I liked about the Grounded trailer was it did not take itself seriously. It's like if you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, continue
Yeah.
waiting for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
funny. I like that.
That was pretty funny.
I mean, that probably made me like Grounded a little bit more,
Yeah, exactly.
because I like that humor. It's good.
Coming out this Tuesday. Rated E for everyone. I don't know if it's rated E, but it's coming out this Tuesday.
It's got spiders in it. Of course, it's not rated E.
Oh yeah, they're scary. That's definitely at least teen.
Oh yeah. That's all. That's all that I saw on there that I was like interested in. So I don't know.
Yeah, no,
What else you want to talk about?
Same. Did you see the Nintendo Direct at all, or Mini Direct? Actually, it was the Mini Direct. It was pretty. It was
No, I
pretty
haven't.
underwhelming for the most part, except
No, I
except
didn't
for
see
the
it.
end, where they did that knock your socks off sort of deal again. It was only 8 minutes long,
Ah,
but they're like, so Atlas is very popular right now. The developer Atlas, with their Persona 5, their exploding heads and bank accounts with how popular Persona 5 is. So they have remastered another Shin Megami Tensei, which is the name of that franchise, game from the PlayStation 2 era, which is really cool because it's actually a more rare title and it's a little more expensive. But it's Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster. And if you've ever played Pokemon, which I've only played one before, it's like that, but with mythological creatures and figures, but you also fight alongside and punch demons in the face.
sounds good.
Yeah, I thought so. And then after that, they're like, oh yeah, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 is also coming to the Switch. Here's a trailer for that. So it was like
Okay.
it was like a 1-2 punch going on.
Yeah, Nintendo knows how to do it. I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty biased. I love Nintendo. Sorry.
Yeah, Nintendo's good. I say begrudgingly for no reason.
I think you meant great.
They
No,
are
I'm just
great.
kidding.
And the Switch is one of the best Nintendo systems I've seen in a while, in my opinion. In my
Yeah, it's
unprofessional
really good.
opinion.
Yeah, we're not professionals. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about the Xbox game showcase in this podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Grind Game Podcast. For more video game related content, visit legacyarchivist.com. If you have an interesting video game related story, leave it in the comments for a chance for it to be featured on the show.